Hey everybody, it's Callus with more Pokemon Perfect content. It is going to be the finals of the ADV Open Numero Dos in 2021 between Siglut and Felix on the alt Monthly Girls. However, before we get into this, I just want to inform/remind everybody that Pokemon Perfect League is now taking player signups. Pokemon Perfect has been pretty active this year, has very high quality players, especially in ADV. If you guys want to get involved in an Old Gens team tour, you've got just under 2 weeks to sign up. Managers have already been decided, some very high level experienced managers, including multiple SPL level managers. And I really think it's going to be a great tour. It was fun last year, it's going to be even better this year. So if you have any interest in getting involved in Old Gens team tour, this is absolutely a tour that you should get involved in. Pokemon Perfect League. The link to the signups will be in the description. I encourage you guys to join that. So, getting back to it, like I said, this is Pokemon Perfect content. I thought that this would be a good tie-in. We've got Siglut and Felix in the finals here. Both of their semifinal sets were impressive in their own ways. You can find those on this channel as well if you want to go back and check those out if you haven't done so already. Here is their best of three set. Here is game one. Siglet will be on the bottom. Like I said, Monthly Girls is Felix on the top. And they didn't both lead it, but they both brought Hariyama here, which is unusual. So this already is looking like this could be two very, very stally teams, and this could be a hell of a grind if we're looking at a Hariyama stall mirror match. At least one of them brought Titar. Hariyama teams do not always have Tyranitar, but this one does. Hell, maybe they both do. And there is a cross chop landing on Salamence after it got knocked off. We saw that it was holding a band, so one of the ways to break through a stall mirror match is a choice band Pokemon, but alas, not anymore. We do see, however, unsurprisingly, that Felix with his Blissey has Wish, so even though that Salamence was never going to be gaining lefties because he had choice band, what he could be doing here is at least getting some health back while he's being chipped away with the sand from the Wish. So now we have Hari on Hari very briefly. Zapdos on Hari, like I said, looks very stally for both of them. I think that the CB Mens from Felix might be the only dedicated offensive Mon between either team, but we'll find out. T-Bolt on Bliss while she's already poisoned, just to get a little more damage on her, a little pressure here, but she's fine. She's going to pass a wish somewhere. Hari comes in. Now she's going to actually stay in. So she'll take her own wish, getting an Ice Beam off on Hariyama here, and Blissey going to fall to 82% after the poison gets out of the way. At this point, Meta comes in, avoids what would have been a neutral cross chop that would have done some damage, not a ton, but an okay amount. And he does land the Meteor Mash here in retaliation on the Zapdos, which is of course resisted. T-Bolt and another Mash. Thunderbolt doing 9% more, 37 as opposed to 28. Meta, of course, gaining lefties, however, through the sand, whereas Zapdos is not, but a lucky 10% power and then a full power all in one turn from Siglut. That was a good break, and that's going to break the back and forth here and make it go Siglut's way. That's going to prompt Felix out. Blissey comes in, takes Thunderbolt, no problem. She's at 2/3. And doubles back to Meta here, as opposed to what I thought would be the play, which is a Wish. So we end up with Meta on Hari, who again misses a cross chop, and that's going to result in a boom and a trade. That was probably a good trade for Felix, a lower health paralyzed Meta, trading with the relatively healthy Hariyama there via the explosion. Leaves us, of course, in a 5-5 with the first knockout, a double knockout of the series. Dragon Claw knockoff, so once again, certain things missing their item. In this case, it's Salamence lefties that are gone. Brick Break coming in for 46% at a bad time. And yeah, Bliss can't stay in and take another one. Out she goes. Unfortunately, Siglut is not able to make that prediction and switch it up to Dragon Claw or HP Grass or whatever. He would have done a lot more to the Starmie had he been able to do that, but he couldn't pull the trigger. And now they're both going to try to paralyze each other, and they'll both be successful. Of course, the X factor here is that Starmie doesn't care if it gets paralyzed. They could just get out of the way with Natural Cure, and that problem will go away. So we know the full team for both guys at this point, and as suspected, very stally on both ends. Crit Earthquake from Siglet keeps the pressure on. but this is a bulky star that will have Recover, and we see that here. Would have been interesting to get a T-Wave off on the switch to Zapdos, but I think Recover is the better play regardless. You're not that worried about the Zapdos. Interesting that he goes to Mence. That must have been anticipating a double switch. Alternatively, he is probably not comfortable going to the Blissey here, given how low it still is. It never did get a soft-boiled off the last time it was forced out. So that was a tricky situation, but Felix was able to convince Siglut to get out of the way with his Zapdos. I'm a little bit surprised that that was the case. I think the Zapdos is a real threat for Siglut here, but he sees it differently, and Felix was able to force him out. So maybe he can find an opportunity to get that Blissey healed up, and I guess this is that opportunity. Comes in on a +1 Coon, which is a little dangerous, but Siglut is going to allow that to happen. He's just going to Calm Mind up a second time. There's a third Calm Mind after double soft-boiled happens here. We'll see. That's a very boosted Coon we're dealing with. That's the fourth Calm Mind. S-Toss 25%, so looking like a good old 404 HP Coon. Surf and Seismic Toss. So Coon would die here should it stay in and not rest and eat a Seismic Toss, but of course it can rest. Makes the aggressive play of Surf, but Felix doesn't fall for that. Siglut was trying to catch the T-Tower or the Hariyama, either of which could have phasing moves like Roar Tower or Whirlwind Hariyama, but I do think, yeah, we saw Knockoff with Hariyama, so it can't learn Whirlwind and Knockoff because they're both egg moves, but the T-Tower could still have Roar. And he played aggressively there, not allowing the T-Tower to switch in on what was an obvious rest turn, but Felix took the safe route and went for soft-boiled, which is fine either way. If the Coon rests, that's fine. If it surfs, that's fine. So I think Felix really made the right play that turn. And here's another Calm Mind. That's number 5. Coon is getting very big. 39% surf now, up from about 35 previously. And soft-boiled, we'll just do a quick check here. She's fine, still has 12 of those soft-boiled. She's not in danger just yet of being run out of those. And once again, Coon in danger. Rest and Seismic Toss. So good thing you went for rest, or the Coon would have been dead there. Coon's got all the boosts. All 6 Calm Mind boosts at this point. See how Bliss / Felix can deal with that. Siglut with a clear advantage at 4-3. And a very boosted Coon at this time. Here's the Hariyama switch. And it is not sniped out by a Surf. It is rest here. Surf there would have killed the Hariyama for sure. But he wasn't able to pull the trigger. And Siglut is going to be out-predicted and forced out. Not willing to stay in and eat the focus punches. Crisis averted for Felix as he gets the +6/+6 Coon to get out of here. Siglut, had he just pulled the trigger and gone for Surf, I think wins the game on the spot. But he was not able to do that. Felix out-predicts him and earns his way back in this game. That being said, Felix clearly still behind here at 4-2, but it's much closer than it once was. Siglut looked to have this in the bag. Now, granted, he still might. He still does have the Coon. But this became interesting. The Coon no longer has the boost. It's going to have to reset up all over again. There's Seismic Toss. Coon has killed the 1 sleep turn just now, as we saw. Here comes the T-Tower switch on the 2nd sleep turn. And from the T-Tower, we've seen nothing. So see if Siglut respects that and plays around it or not. He goes directly for a Surf. He takes an offensive approach, which is probably wise. In case it is like a DD Tower or something, you don't want to give it any opportunity to set up. You just want to go straight for the attack, not let it do its thing. Fire Punch, fishing for what would be a devastating burn, doesn't come. Wish comes. Protect, I hate. I think, yeah, what if it subs? What if it DDs? What if it uses any kind of move like that? I hate the Protect here. I think it could be really costly. Fire Blast is going to unluckily miss. However, Siglut is not able to even pop the substitute. Fire Punch is not going to do it. Here's Crunch, no drop. There's a Wish. Rachi here trying to endure the Fire Blast. There's Focus Punch. We now know the full set from this T-Tower, an unusual set. Sub, Focus Punch, Crunch, and Fire Blast. Focus Punch 38%. Focus Punch again as Wish comes down. He's trying to not get himself run out of Fire Blast. He does only have 8 of those to begin with, and he's already used 1. And he is against a Pokemon that he knows has Protect, so he's trying to be really careful. And there is the wish kicking in for the Rachi, back up to 92%. Felix very stubborn, refusing to use the Fire Blast, wants to be really careful to not do those on Protect turns. He continues to spam Focus Punch and not Fire Blast. Maybe now he'll finally do it after Rachi went for the Protect, but no, it's going to be Focus Punch yet again. And the pressure continues. Rachi here with a full para would probably die, but it does get the Protect off anyway, despite the para. Back up to a very healthy 92% Rachi so far, doing a good job at stalling out this T-Tower, but that can change at any time. Here's another opportunity for a failed Protect to be fatal, but not only does the Protect get off, but the Fire Blast would have missed anyway, and the Rachi back up to 100%. Body Slam comes down, again, does not even pop the sub. Focus Punch about a third. Rachi at 72. Another Focus Punch here, full power at a bad time. Crit opportunity, doesn't get it. Rachi's going to be left at 44. Doing a quick count here. The Fire Blast, there's 5 of them left. Make that 4 of them left after that one gets protected against. But this one could kill, and does. The Rachi goes down, and T-Tower is still behind a sub. Very good sequence here for Felix, catching himself back up. Brick Break pops the sub, only for another sub to come down. Again, correctly played by Felix. Very heads-up play, letting the sand kill the Mens and making sure that he's behind a sub when it's all said and done. There's a Crunch and a Surf, respectively. Coon down to just 11%. Goes for rest here. And Crunch comes down. A Specs drop would be very useful here, but it's last poke Coon for Siglut. If he's going to win the game, it's going to be on the back of this Coon. I think the T-Tower just gets it anyway. Crunch. Yeah, that'll be enough. Even without the Specs drop, the sand is going to finish the job. I'm really not clear how Siglut lost that game / Felix managed to win this game. It looked almost locked up with Siglut with that very boosted Coon, but there were a couple times. I feel like Siglut got forced out a couple of times that he maybe shouldn't have. There was that Zapdos sequence where, even though the Blissey was really low on the other end, Felix somehow got him to switch the Zapdos out, and then the Coon is the same deal. The Coon was so boosted, all he had to do on that one turn was click Surf. It would have won the game instantly by killing the Hariyama, but he wasn't able to pull the trigger, and Felix somehow wins a game that I think he should not have. Like I said, that one turn with the Coon really was the game. He clicks Surf there, the Hari dies, we're done. But Felix somehow makes the comeback. A little bit of psychological warfare, maybe a little bit of nerves from Siglut, maybe a little bit of both, but Felix somehow pulls this game out, and he's going to take the 1-0 lead in this set. But it's going to be a best of 3, as all these things are. Definitely not over, and we're going to do it all in one video. Let's see how it plays out together. Here is Game 2. So again, players in the same position. Siglut on the bottom, Felix on Monthly Girls on the top. T-Tower lead for both. And they make different choices on turn 1, however. One goes to Swampert, one goes to Skarm. Siglut not able to take advantage of it by going for a Toxic, trying to hit the Swampert, but he instead blanks on a Skarm, and we end up with Equilibrium here. The only difference is that Felix seems to have the faster Skarm, and he has revealed a little bit more information in that he showed the Swampert, but now it's a Blissey being blown out by the Skarm of Felix. So now they've both shown 3 pokes, and the lead T-Tower makes a reappearance, and we discover that it is lefties. It shows Flamethrower here, gets Whirlwinded out, and here's Meta. See if that also has something to hit the Skarm, such as HP Fire or Thunder Punch. It's actually a switch to Gengar instead. That turns out to be good, because Felix went for a Protect. He'll, of course, Protect again, and it's going to leave the Skarm at 60%. However, against a Pokemon that it doesn't match up well against in the Gengar. Will-O-Wisp on the Switch makes sense to me. Very similar teams, both of them opting for the tried and true Tar Skarm Bliss archetype. And it is Wow Taunt, an older Gar that is not seen as much these days, but still a set that I'm very fond of, and it's going to really neutralize the Blissey here. Thunderbolt and Ice Beam, respectively. A crit certainly is going to help Felix there. That was rather lucky, but Bliss is still in trouble here. Oh, I hate that from Felix. Oh, and by Felix I mean Siglut, but that is just such a choke. He doesn't taunt again there. He doesn't have the balls. That is real rough. That would have killed the Bliss. It was a soft boil turn. He would have prevented the soft boiled. He would have gotten the burn damage, left that Blissey dead to rights between the Thunderbolt and the spikes or what have you. Siglut was not able to grow a pair and pull the trigger there. Felix, again, simply outplays Siglut, takes advantage of his nerves. Felix has looked like the bolder man in this series, and Siglut has had his opportunities, but that is once again going to be an out-predict favoring Felix. Hopefully, Siglut can bring it back. Here's a focus punch on a toxic. Both of those things happen according to plan. 45% on the focus punch. There's protect and rock slide, respectively. Sure, don't want to get your focus punch disrupted by a potential drill peck. Now Claydol comes in. That takes the rock slide just fine. So Siglut we know as a spinner. Don't know if Felix does or not. We also know there's a Gar to potentially block it, and here it is. And Siglut walks right into it. Can't predict the Gar. Doesn't go Psychic. Gets blocked. There's the Ice Punch. And the Psychic happens now. Does exactly 50%. That will almost certainly kill the Gar with the aid of the Sand. Starmie. And no, Siglut again out-predicted by Felix. Wasn't able to predict the Gengar in the first place, and then he wasn't able to predict the Gengar switching out to the Starmie and go for the rapid spin there. That is once again two crucial turns in which Felix outplays Siglut, really earning this championship should Felix get the W here. Has looked like the better player in this set. It's small things, it's little things. Siglut feels like he should be winning both of these games, but Felix is just outplaying him in the crucial moments, and now it is Felix who is ahead in this game 2 with the 1-0 lead in the series. Spikes and Rock Slide respectively. Here's Meta once again. That gets Rock Slid with a crit, luckily for Felix, but Meta should have an opportunity. We see that it's faster here based on lefties. Should be able to do something, and he lands a critical hit of his own with a Meteor Mash. That'll help. Didn't get the attack raise, but he's got something going. He protects to avoid the Whirlwind. Fine. Maybe Meta can get something going on the way out here. Another crit, or maybe he booms. He just goes Meteor Mash. 19% leaves the Skarm in the red, even after lefties for Felix. T-Tar on T-Tar. Spike. Flamethrower. Not going to be the right call. Going to give Felix the opportunity here with his 25% Poison Tar to do something. And something he does. He finds the Rock Slide flinch. Unfortunate for Siglut. Gonna leave his own T-Tar in dire straits, and it's gonna die to the Earthquake here. The lead extends for Felix. Now looking at a 6-4 situation. Siglut on the ropes. Gengar does get the finishing blow on the opposing T-Tar, but here comes the presumably off-star. Already showed Hydro Pump. Looks like a tough poke at this point. Blissey, the only thing that deals with it, she's at less than 50% when she comes in on 3 layers of spikes. Gets hit with the Ice Beam for 11%. She would survive a non-crit Hydro Pump here, but a rapid spin gets off, and the spikes are gone. Clear advantage for Felix here, but we're not done just yet. Siglut's going to have to play the rest of the game with those spikes, whether he likes it or not. Now, Felix did give him an opportunity there to get a crit or a freeze off. There was an opportunity for some BS there for Siglut, and he did make the right call going for Ice Beam, but he wasn't able to find the BS, and it results in a trade via Explosion. Gengar on the Bliss leaves us in a 3-4 situation. Now the off-star is very difficult. Gonna have to rely on Hydro Pump misses or whatever nonsense, but Felix very conservative here. I like that a lot. He knows how valuable the Starmie is. He knows it wins him the game pending a Hydro Pump miss, so he does not even chance it, even though most players there would have clicked Hydro Pump and would have won this game 80% of the time. Felix is more disciplined than that. He pulls it back, he doesn't take the chance on the Hydro Pump miss, and he realizes he can just bring the off-star in later and probably still win anyway. So that is the right play for him, and I think that will secure this game for him almost certainly. Siglut very banged up at this point. 13% Gar and a 40% Meta with 3 layers of spikes down is all he's got left. Here is the Starmie on cleanup duty, and I think it can just click Thunderbolt twice and call it a day. Gengar dies. It's going to be close. It's at 15, but it does have Protect and lefties. Maybe he will be forced to pump. We'll see. I don't know the exact calc here. Got to find himself at 27%. We'll see if he has to pull the trigger on pump or not. He may. Double protect. Nope, he thought Thunderbolt was good enough. Thunderbolt is definitely not good enough now at 33%. He goes Rapid Spin, actually. He's going to beat it with the Swampert, and he's going to make sure that it gets in just a little bit healthier. This takes it almost certainly out of critical hit range, and I believe we're done here. It's going to take quite a few protects to survive an Earthquake, and even then, what would you do back to the Swampert here? There's just nothing unless he has HP Grass, which he clearly does not. Meteor Mash, nowhere close, and the Earthquake going to do the job from 50. Well earned from Felix. He's going to win the game and therefore the set 2-0. He's going to be the champion of the ADV Open 2021 Numero Dos on Pokemon Perfect. And like I said, it was well earned. I feel like Siglut had his opportunities, but I feel like on most of the critical turns, I feel like Felix outplayed Siglut. I don't know how much of that was Siglut simply having nerves and making mistakes versus something that Felix did to perhaps induce those things to some extent. Who knows? But like I said, on the really crucial turns throughout the set, it was Felix getting the better end of it, because this easily could have been the other way. It felt like Siglut at various points had advantages in both games, but somehow Felix is the guy who pulled it out. So well earned for him. He's the champ. Both of these players are going to qualify for the ADV Championship Tour at the end of the year, which is awesome, but only one of them is going to be a champion right now, and that is Felix. Congrats to him. One more time, just want to remind you guys, if you haven't signed up for Pokemon Perfect League yet, check that out. There's going to be a link in the description. I only put the signups up yesterday. We've already got 40-something. It's going to be a great tour. But you don't want to forget about that. You don't want to miss it. It's only once a year. Get involved with that. Open to anybody. Pokemon Perfect League signups in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you in the next video.